This week we're making a classic school cake. This cake's a British classic. There's a fluffy vanilla sponge, a simple white icing, and loads of sprinkles. This would be served as part of a school dinner, which is where it gets its name from, and it goes really well with vanilla custard. Here's how we make it. Before we make the cake, we need to preheat an oven to 170 degrees Celsius or 338 degrees Fahrenheit, and we need to grease and line a 9 by 13 inch baking tin. Next we add 325 grams of softened unsalted butter and 350 grams of caster sugar into the bowl of a stand mixer, then beat on a medium speed until light and fluffy. This will take around 5 minutes. It's important that we scrape the bowl down regularly with a spatula so that we get an evenly mixed batter. I'd recommend doing this at least a couple of times when beating the butter, as it really does make a difference. When your butter's ready, it should be pale and fluffy and look something like this. Next we need to crack 6 large eggs into a jug, then add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and lightly beat together. Then we're going to gradually add in the egg with the mixer running on a medium speed. Each egg should weigh around 50 grams out of the shell, so you'll need 300 grams in total. Again, it's important to scrape down the bowl regularly with a spatula. This also helps stop the batter from curdling as we add in the eggs. Once all the eggs have been added in, we're going to give the bowl another scrape down, and then give it one final mix. Now we need to add 325 grams of plain flour into a separate mixing bowl, with 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of table salt. Then we're going to give it a whisk to combine and sift half of the dry ingredients into the batter. Now we're going to use a spatula to gently fold the flour into the butter until it's mostly incorporated. Also, don't worry if there's a few streaks of flour at this point. Next we're going to add 200 grams of room temperature sour cream into the batter, then gently fold it in until mostly combined. The sour cream adds extra fat to the batter, which makes the sponge softer and moister once baked. And it won't alter the consistency of the batter like milk would. Now we need to sift in the remaining dry ingredients, then fold again until combined. Adding in the flour in 2 additions means that it will get incorporated more evenly, and we won't overwork the batter. Now once our batter's mixed, the bicarb will start to react immediately, so we need to get it in the tin and in the oven as soon as possible. So here we're going to transfer the batter into the tin, give the bowl a good scrape down, then use a palette knife to spread the batter into an even layer. Then the cake needs to bake in the preheated oven for 45 to 50 minutes. You know when it's done because the top will be a deep golden brown and a skewer inserted into the middle will come out clean. Also, the sponge will spring back when lightly pressed. Now the cake needs to cool in the tin for 15 to 20 minutes, then we carefully transfer it to a wire cooling rack. This just means that the cake will set up slightly so it doesn't break when we take it out of the tin. It also means that the cake can cool completely without going soggy. Once our cake is completely cool, we can make the icing. So in a mixing bowl I've got 400 grams of sifted icing sugar, and I'm going to gradually whisk in 4 to 5 tablespoons of whole milk until I get a thick icing. We need to make the icing thick enough so that we can spread it on top of the cake without it all running off. But if it becomes too thin, just whisk in a bit more icing sugar. It should look something like this. Now what we need to do is spoon or pour the icing on top of the cake, then use a palette knife to spread it to the edges. I like to set my cake over a tray in case any icing runs off. All that's left to do now is to top the cake with loads of sprinkles. Then we need to let the icing set at room temperature for around an hour before serving. But if your kitchen's quite warm, you might need to stick the cake in the fridge for 20 minutes or so. Once the icing's set, we can use a sharp serrated knife to cut it into portions. I like to neaten the cake up by trimming off the edges, but this is optional. Now this recipe makes 12 generous portions of cake, but feel free to cut it smaller if you like. And that's how I make a classic school cake. The full written recipe can be found on my blog saltbuttersmoke.com, and there's a couple of custard recipes on there as well if you want to make a properly nostalgic dessert. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another recipe.